I'm here today with Layla Smith from TRYangle Project. I've heard just a little bit about this project, and I want you to tell us everything about this project, because I know you're doing brilliant things for the community.
Thank you.
But before you tell us about the project, just tell me about yourself. I know you're Layla Smith, you're the manager.
So my name's Lila, and I'm the manager here at TRYangle. I originally started off here as a volunteer, so I was just volunteering my time, doing group work with male perpetrators of domestic violence, and I've suddenly found myself crawling up the ladder, and now I'm managing the project. My background is I'm a therapist, so I'm a drama therapist and also a counsellor as well. And I'm interested in this work because there's not a lot of support, I feel, out there for men who are abusive towards their partners.
Okay, so is it for men who are abusive or for men who have been abused?
This is the thing, it's men who have been abusive. So it's a very unique project, and there aren't that many in the UK.
Exactly.
It's men who are abusive towards their partners, but when we're working with those men, we will support their partner as well. So we run a parallel programme to support the whole family. Normally what happens with the families that come to us here at TRYangle is that although things may be difficult, they are trying to stay together. They don't want to be separated, they want things to work. So it's our job to try and manage them working while staying together.
Wow, that is really, that's great, because you don't encourage them to separate, but you encourage them that we can actually help you.
There are so many really good organisations working out there with women who are fleeing violence, or even men who are fleeing violence in the home. But our job is to actually manage safety within the home. So we hope that the work that we do will help men to change their behaviour, their beliefs and values about women, and work towards a more respectful relationship.
Okay, and as you help men, have you ever, has there ever been a case of someone relapsing, like you help them and then they go back together with their family and then they actually relapse, and has that ever happened?
It's not a quick fix, unfortunately. Our programme is 6 months long. And when we think about it, 6 months is quite a long time, but not long enough to really change probably years of abusive behaviour. So we often liken this work to, say, an alcoholic, for instance, that, you know, if they go through a programme and then they're sort of alcohol free, they need to be reminded that actually, if I have a drink, I may go right back into my pattern of behaviour. It's much the same for these men. When they leave us, they need to try and remember and keep hold of all of the techniques that we've shared with them, so that they don't actually have a massive relapse and end up being abusive.
Okay, so what organisations do you work with, in partnership with?
Okay, we work really closely with the Her Centre and another organisation called Little Fish, which is a theatre company, basically, Between the three of us, we're working with young people aged 13 to 19 years old in the Greenwich Borough. We go into schools, and what normally happens is Little Fish initially go in and sort of, if you like, they're like our warm-up act. They go in with their brilliant plays, get people interested and motivated to want to learn more about domestic violence. Once they've gone in and they've worked with some young people, then Her Centre, who works with women, and TRYangle, who works with the men, will then engage with the young people and try and support them in whatever difficulties they may be experiencing.
So at what stage would you think that it's good to start this? Do you just leave it until maybe you're 40 or 45 to get help, or do you think that it's, what age would you advise people that if they realize that they have a problem, they should actually seek for advice or help?
To be quite honest, we should be going into schools much younger than 13. We should be educating really young children. I'm going to plug a programme that's sort of out there now, which does actually that. It's called Roots of Empathy. It'd be well worth people looking that up on the internet. What they actually do is they take a little baby between 3 months and a year old into schools, and using that child and their mother, they show the relationship that the mother has, that's sort of caring and nurturing towards the child, the sort of attachment that the mother has with the baby, and how when the baby needs support, mum is sort of there to help with that. It's delivered to primary school children and also children in junior school, but what happens is they suddenly learn about being empathic and how we all need to be supported, nurtured, looked after. So we do need to be going in at a very young age. Exactly. It is almost too late when we're 30, 40, 50.
Wow. What organisation did you say that was? Roots?
They're called Roots of Empathy.
Oh, Roots of Empathy.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they based in Royal Greenwich? Oh.
I believe that they haven't got a programme in Greenwich at the moment. They're working from Lewisham and I think the Bromley Borough.
Okay.
But if anybody is working within schools in Greenwich and they may be interested in having the programme come to their school, definitely check out the website.
Okay.
Yeah, and see. It's amazing, it's really good.
That is very good. I've never even heard of something like that. That is very, very good. Okay, and do you run workshops in this? So do you do as a form of workshops?
Do you
run workshops in this building?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're based here in Greenwich, and unfortunately we've lost a lot of funding here. So we're not actually working with any male perpetrators in Greenwich. We're being funded by Lewisham and Bromley. So although our office space is here, we travel to Lewisham, we travel to Bromley to run groups for the families down there. And as I said earlier, it's a 6-month programme, and what men are offered is group work. They meet one evening a week. They have counselling sessions, up to 20 sessions, and they can also have one-to-one meetings for individual support, so they can talk about how they feel they're changing and we can give feedback as well. Okay. It's quite intense.
Oh, it is intense, but it's a very, very good program. It's very good because that can help a lot of people from getting into trouble in their adulthood. That is so good. So you say that you're being supported by Lewisham and Bromley.
Yeah.
So you want to say that there's no any support to get from here, funding from Greenwich, or?
Not at the moment. No, nothing at the moment. We are trying. They've got currently a commissioning bid going out, but they do have another organisation that is actually working in Greenwich, and it may well be that they continue with that organisation. So we're not supported to run the male perpetrator group here at all. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, we're out of borough. What we do here though is the local refuges. We go in there and support the women with counselling services. So we offer counselling to the women, and if we do have any men who come to us who are victims, we also offer counselling at this space.
Okay.
It's not funded. We just do it.
Volunteers. So do you have a lot of volunteers working in this place?
There's about 15 volunteer counsellors. I think the last count is about 9 members of staff now, because we've sort of expanded. But the volunteer counsellors are really almost like our life support. They're giving so much of their time for free. And within this work, although it's helpful to have people change their behaviour, sometimes it's good for them to look at emotionally why they are using abuse to resolve conflict.
Exactly.
So that therapeutic element we feel is really important.
Wow. So how long have you, I know you said you started as a volunteer, so how long have you worked for this organisation?
Okay, so I came here in 2008 as a volunteer. What does that make? That's about it's quite a long time. 8, 9, 12, 13,
maybe 7,
5,
8?
5, 6.
Who knows maths? I'm not very good with
rubbish at maths. 6 years. That's
about
right.
6 years. You see, 6 years. I was close because I said 7, so I was very
Closer than me.
No, very good with maths, trust me. Oh, that is so good. So, okay, I know you say that some people relapse.
Yeah.
They can relapse because it's not magic and it's not a drug that you just get and it's done. So, would you encourage someone that before they think they're going to relapse to come back, or do we get people who just relapse and totally go back and don't want help anymore?
Yeah, no, we always encourage people to come back. We have this open door policy. When a man has gone through the programme, he can come back at any time if he needs support. So not even waiting till he relapses. If he just feels, actually, you know, I could just do with a bit more of what you're teaching. And to be in a group with other men as well is quite supportive. They can come back. And if they need counselling also, they can access that. So we wouldn't advocate waiting until someone relapses. The door is just open at any time that they want to return, they can.
Okay. Okay, I know you're working with the men that abuses. What about the abused? Do we have anything in place for them, or
not a lot, to be honest? One of the things with men who are abused, we feel, is that there can be a lot of shame and embarrassment in coming forward and saying, my wife, my girlfriend is, abusing me. There are cases of men being laughed at, not taken seriously. I do believe that is changing, but we never have enough men come through our doors to form a group. So we always end up offering counselling.
But would you like to encourage them? Would you like to tell them there's nothing shameful to that?
Absolutely. There's definitely nothing shameful in being abused. And nobody has the right to abuse someone else or to try and control what they do or who they are, because the abuse really is about power and control. Someone feeling that they're not able to control a situation and therefore being abusive to sort of gain that power. It's not a shameful thing. I'm sure it happens in a lot more families than people will admit, and I would definitely encourage men to come forward. We would love to run a group for male victims here.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. So how do you get your clients? Is it a walk-in centre? How do you get your clients?
Okay. The majority of the clients come through social services. Quite a few of the families may have children on child protection plans, so they're referred through a social worker. But people can actually refer themselves, so they can just pick up the phone, ring our number, or even just walk through the door, and that's absolutely fine. We get the odd referral from maybe like a GP or other sort of organisation, but it mainly is social services and self-referrals. Okay,
everything is private and confidential? Because I know people are scared of that as well sometimes. Like, I don't want to say my business, and then tomorrow it's all over the news.
No. Totally private and confidential. The only exception to that is if a person is referred, for instance, by social services, then social services are going to want to know that they're attending and how they're doing. But apart from that, it doesn't go anywhere else.
Okay. So what are the activities that you do in this place with it?
Okay, so the main activities within our group work, so we have set modules that we look at. The men explore subjects such as power and control, what is violence, what is abuse, the effects of violence on children and women. There's a whole list, so I won't go through them all. But we also use a lot of role play in what we do. So we always have one male and one female worker. And what we feel is beneficial for the men is that when they see role plays, they often see themselves and their behaviour, and they can respond and discuss that easier than someone just sort of lecturing them. So we find that having a creative element to our work really, really helpful.
So you do practical exercises?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow. And we do also have them come up and role play, and often the most, if you like, important aspects for them is when we ask them to role play their partner, so they can somehow get a feeling of, well, how does my partner feel in a certain situation? So we try to put them in the place of their partner. We feel it helps to develop empathy. They get an understanding of their partner's feelings. So wouldn't be able to do our work without actually using some form of drama or creativity. It's really important.
That's very important. You get people breaking down because of
we
feel guilty, they feel bad.
Absolutely. At times some of the men sit there and they're literally beating themselves up as they talk that, you know, I feel so angry with myself, I can't believe that this is what I look like, or that is what I've said. And it opens up a whole new world of feelings and emotions for them.
Exactly.
This is what helps them to change. A lot of them, when they come through the door, don't have any empathy or understanding for how their partner might feel. But when they begin to do the work and suddenly realise, actually, this is quite painful stuff, that's when their abuse reduces.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, because I think what you do for the community is brilliant. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much for your hospitality. Thank you very much for your hospitality. And this is Lydia Olet reporting for Royal Greenwich Television.